Welcome gamers! Today we're going to check out an arcade fighting game from back in 2002 called Rage of the Dragons. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick out a couple of characters and dive right into this badass fighting game. And let me tell you, I have played a lot of fighting games in my time, but this game just takes the cake. It is super compelling. The graphics are amazing, and it is extremely challenging. In fact, this is probably the hardest SNK based fighting game I have ever played in my life, out of every game that they've ever produced. It is super challenging. So the first thing to note about this game is that it was designed by the Latin American designer Evoga, and it was jointly developed by Noise Factory and Brezzasoft. These were SNK developers. And so the game launched to arcades back in 2002, as well as the NEO GEO home console. And there was even a Sega Dreamcast port of this game as well. And from what I understand, this game never really officially launched in the North American landscape. It launched in Japan and Asian countries, and I don't believe it really saw its way here for the most part, at least not on a wide scale. And so the game was meant to be an updated sequel to SNK's previous Double Dragon fighting title from 1995. That was a fighting game based on the classic Double Dragon arcade beat-em-ups. And there were some issues with that. Evoga ran into some licensing problems. And rather than scrap the entire project, they said, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and rename the characters. We'll change some of the depiction of the characters, the naming conventions. But for the most part, Rage of the Dragons is still very much paying a homage to the classic Double Dragon series. So two of the characters in the game represent Billy and Jimmy from Double Dragon. Other characters such as Kang were based on Double Dragon 2: The Revenge, and even the boss character was based on the classic Double Dragon character Abobo, who in this game is named Abubo. So you can see they just changed one letter. And so Rage of the Dragons featured a tag team fighting ability where you could tag in additional characters. So you select 2 of 14 possible characters throughout the entire roster for the game. And you can mix and match them however you want, which I'll get into the characters that we're using here in just a moment. So the game boasts really incredibly compelling graphics compared to its predecessor, Double Dragon. And the fighting universe feel a lot more fluid than the original Double Dragon game did as well. Plus, you had charge and counter attacks in this game that I thought were really good. Really good long chain combos. And the game's stages differ wildly in terms of their environment, with players taking to battle in a nightclub, a schoolyard, a wrestling ring, and even a dojo, among several others. And so, yeah, this game, I'm telling you what, if you've ever played like the Art of Fighting series or King of Fighters, man, I'm telling you what, this game is super difficult. But it is a lot of fun to play. I actually had to play this for a couple hours to really get the controls down and the timing inputs down just right in order to get a solid video out of it. Just to note how incredibly difficult this game is. And so the characters, you can see you got these like the shadow attacks as specials, which I thought was really cool. Kind of reminds me of Street Fighter 3 in a way. As for the characters we're playing here, Koopa is sort of boasts this parkour like set of fighting maneuvers, while Pepe is geared more towards traditional martial arts fighting maneuvers. Just really cool stuff. I would have honestly liked to see this hit arcades in America, given this was something I've never seen in any US arcades. If you think back during the heydays of SNK, during the early to mid or late 1990s, it was games like Samurai Showdown and Art of Fighting. Those were the really popular fighting titles in North American arcades, and this is just one of those titles. It came out in the early 2000s when the American arcades were on the decline, and let's face it, arcades are a huge thing in Japan still. They're just not in the US. They just, they kind of died off here. It's all online gaming now is really become the norm in the North American landscape. So this game also kind of reminds me a bit of another SNK fighting title called Power Instinct. A little bit older series. There was a lot of updated sequels and ports of that series. Kind of feels a little bit similar with the depiction of some of the stages here, like this wrestling ring. You can see we're battling this guy. Looks like kind of looks like Lenny Kravitz or something. Just kind of an odd assortment of characters. So I definitely recommend playing this game if you haven't given this a try. I'm running this in WinCowix. It seemed to run the smoothest and emulate as close as possible to the original arcade game, and I went ahead and went with WinCowix to produce the video. This game will run in MAME, but I felt like it was a bit choppy. And you can see Evoga kind of advertises itself in the background there. You can see at the end of the ring, it's got their logo. Pretty typical of designers and developers to kind of show off their brand. And so the trick with this game is really just to keep moving. Wow, look at that long chain combo. Those charge attacks can do an incredible amount of damage. But with the real trick with this game is to keep moving. You really have to jump back and forth. If you're hanging out too close to your opponent for too long, they'll just start ripping on you with a ton of combos, and they can take off a very considerable amount of your health, your life, with just a matter of maybe even a few hits. Alice is tough. She puts on a pretty damn good fight. You can see my character's like throwing wrenches and stuff. Another thing too with those kicks, you've seen that kind of like that rapid kick maneuver that she has. Kind of reminds me a little bit, there goes again, of Chun-Li. Because that was something that was, originally a feature of the Street Fighter series. And we first saw that with Street Fighter 2. So Elias is a little bit slower moving, so it does kind of give the advantage. He packs a lot of power for his hits. He's not the fastest character. Pepe's not as fast as Koopa either, but he's a pretty good character. Yeah, she just got like a lot of spinning attack kicks. Oh, this guy's almost dead. Come out, another hitter Oh man. Oh wow, he got me. But I'm not dead yet, because I still got my other character. Yeah, this battle's not over. He's gonna get hit once and die. Yep. Another thing I noticed about this game is that hitting, at times, it seems like if you hit a punch and a kick button at the same time, they'll cancel each other out. That was kind of frustrating, but it's really just a matter of ensuring that you're not hitting double buttons. So now we're like kind of like in this nightclub setting. You can see it says Noise Factory there, another advertisement. For the developers. This guy is hard. Oh, I got a good 10-hit combo there. Got a good block on me. Wow. Holy crap. Alright, so he's down. Still gotta take her out. Wow, she just slapped the crap out of me. So I think we should be coming up on the end boss here. Yeah. This guy is freaking ridiculous. I gave up trying to beat this guy. I played this game several times in a row, fighting this end character. I kept continuing, and he's just tough. And you get 2 characters versus 1, but your hits do not do damage to this guy. Long chain combos, like a 10-hit attack, might take off a little tiny bit of his life. Look at that. And once he gets you in the corner, it's like, man. It's like a freaking death sentence. He's gonna get you no matter what. And he's kind of got the stature of a Boobo. I can kind of see that it made him very similar to the original character from Double Dragon. Alright, so I'm dead. So anyways, that is Rage of the Dragons. If you like this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. And if you get a chance, check out Gamers Bay Community on Google+. There'll be a link below in the description of the video. And if you want to help support our work, check out our Patreon. There's also a link to that in the description below as well. Many thanks for watching, and take care.